Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to Greenway Avenue Stadium for the 2019 Homecoming Girls Varsity match featuring the visiting Fort Hill Lady Sentinels and the Allegany High School Lady Campers. I'm Adam Stern. I'm sitting alongside Monzel Smith, will be your today's announcers for the girls varsity game. We'd like to take this time to indicate that the production is being broadcast by Allegany Media and Allegany High School with their students today. Today's officials in the middle is John Smith, and his assistant referees are Dave Johnson and Phil Van Newkirk. Monzel, it turned out, started out when we started this morning, it was raining coming in, but it looks like that it has tapered off, and it should be a good day for soccer.
Absolutely. Always enjoy seeing Allegany and Fort Hill play in any sport, and these two teams have met earlier this year, and what was the decent matchup should be a pretty good one here again this afternoon.
Yeah, and homecoming always brings out a little more of every girl. Just the atmosphere, the decorations, that just set the tone. It just makes it for a great soccer day overall, and it's nice how they have the girls and the boys both playing on the same day. Just makes it for a great day of soccer here at Greenway.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like the way they had the boys' teams escorted the girls out today prior to the game. That was a nice gesture, and hopefully we'll see something similar with the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's a nice gesture that the boys do come out early to support the girls on both sides, and that's a hats off to both coaches and their teams for having them here early.
Yep. See, the officials down here are taking care of the coin toss.
Yeah.
Waiting, see here what we have going on.
So it'll be probably a little difficult until they run out to see who has possession on the sides. But I guess we'll take this time now to announce the rosters. So for Allegany, number 29, freshman Maddie Poland. Number 25, freshman Leah Smith. Number 11, sophomore Rachel Bush. Number 3, sophomore Jordan Cheney. Number 18, sophomore Haley Groves. Number 15, sophomore Rylan Kennifer. Number 6, junior captain Emma Cook. Number 4, junior Sydney Licklatter. Number 17, junior Taylor McCloskey. Number 5, junior Kelsey O'Neill. Number 00 in the goal, junior Katie Stern. Number 33, senior Violet Bauman. Number 7, senior captain Skylar Ellsworth. Number 13, Kaylin Lutton, senior. Number 35, senior captain Lydia Martz. Number 8, captain senior Hannah Willits.
Teams are lining up for the opening kickoff. Looks like Fort Hill will have possession. A quick rundown of the Fort Hill lineup today. Number 2, senior co-captain Mia Newman. Number 3, senior Amber Armbruster. Number 4, senior Destiny Barney. Number 7, freshman Mariah Smith. Number 8, freshman Paige Self. Number 9, sophomore Emily Miller. Number 10, Becky Molinax, freshman. Number 11, Olivia Looker, freshman. We'll get back to this in just a moment. Let's pick up on the action that's already in play.
Yeah, so we have Allegany in blue today. Fort Hill took the opening kickoff, and Allegany quickly gained possession and now has possessed the ball back to the keeper, playing it out to Emma Cook, defensive player for Allegany.
Allegany just gave up possession in the midfield and then took it right back.
Yeah, so we have possession up to Jordan Cheney. She's looking to slide it out wide to Skylar Ellsworth, and she has it out to her going to the corner looking for a cross. So we have a cross on to Jordan Cheney, and a great defensive effort there by the Fort Hill defender to keep the ball away from a shot. And Fort Hill trying to get the ball cleared. Ball passed out to Lydia Martz, and a shot on goal, saved by Haley Turnett.
Yeah, Haley's been pretty good in goal this year for the Sentinels, even though the record doesn't show it. But she's been solid back there.
Yeah, she's been solid for 4 years. She's had a great career back there, and she's very positive as an official. I get to talk to her on the field a lot, and she is positive to the team regardless of the score.
Once again, Turnett just coming up to make the play. Cross was not on target.
Yeah, so another cross by Skylar Ellsworth. So the ball is going to the corner. Looks like they're trying to favor the left-hand side, going to Skylar Ellsworth and looking for a cross, trying to hit Jordan Chaney and then Taylor McCloskey on the right wing side coming up. So Allegany taking possession in the midfield again. And like we said, we always know that the game is won by possession. And that's what Allegany is trying to do, is take control of the ball and keep possession. So
Yeah, the games that I've seen this year, Adam, with Allegany, they always possess the ball well. They pass the ball well. They have a good passing short game. And we expect to see a lot of that here today.
Yep, absolutely. And Haley Turnett stepping out of the goal, going close to the 18 to take the ball away and a shot opportunity away. And that's something that both goalies today you'll see a lot of, is they won't stay on that end line. They will be out to the 18 and beyond to minimize the number of shots each opponent will have today.
Absolutely.
So it looked like a pass in from Lydia March trying to get it up to Jordan up the middle, and another defensive stop by the Fort Hill defender. And a pass out to Hannah Willits, out to Taylor McCloskey. It looks like it'll be out on the end line, and a goal kick for Fort Hill.
Goal kick for the Sentinels.
Yeah, Fort Hill's going to have to play a little better in the midfield today if they want to have a good chance to win this game, because they can't give up possession. We've only been a few minutes in the game, and Fort Hill has yet to really have possession.
Yeah, I mean, the midfield is the possession of the game, is they control the mid. They can get the ball from the defensive third to the mid to control to get it up to their front. And that's where you do control the game. So Allegany has tried to establish that early with their two seniors in the middle. And now Fort Hill has to look at stepping up to try to take some possession. They need to get something going to get it, because the ball has been basically on the Fort Hill's own out inside their 50 and partially inside the third.
Yeah, and even on the two throw-ins we just witnessed by Destiny Barney, Fort Hill gave possession away almost immediately.
Yeah.
And here we have Barney again with the throw-in. And again, we see that they, one pass and they give up possession again.
Yeah, so it's Allegany it does a good job of taking possession and transition. So what you'll see is a lot of passing, keeping the ball on the turf, and that's what you really need to do. Getting the ball in the air is a problem. So.
And what you were talking about early, Adam, with Turnett and the keeper for Stern coming out for Allegany, that right there was a prime example of it. They do not stay back. I mean, she was out at the 20-yard line challenging that pass.
Yeah, she was out beyond the 6 before the pass was even made, so she was able to get beyond the 18 to get a foot on the ball and to keep Jordan Chaney from taking possession, turning, and then getting a shot on goal. And that would have been a one-on-one there and a high chance of a score. So she takes the opportunity away, and that's what you like to see, is aggressive goalies, and we will see that throughout today.
Mm-hmm. Fort Hill trying to clear the ball out of the defensive third and just not having any luck.
Yeah, and then it goes back to the defensive players. So right now, Allegany has pushed their defense up. So Rylan Kennifer trying to place the ball into Haley Groves and just kicked it a little too far for her. Haley Turnett did it again and went out wide to get the ball. And that's key. It's key for your keeper to pick up any ball that they can get in lieu of letting a goal kick, because the possession, I mean, you'll watch goal kicks versus a goalie kicking the ball and putting it down the field. It's usually about a 30-yard difference, at least 20 yards, if not 30. So it's a big difference.
Yeah, and again, Fort Hill's trying to fight tough in the midfield there. They did come away with possession this time, but again, the next pass is just a giveaway.
Yeah, so the midfield looking to pass it up to Fort Hill's Becky Mollinex, and it was just too far out of her reach. Taken away by Emma Cook, passed back to the keeper, Katie Stern, and then out wide. So they're reversing the ball, looking to keep possession as they try to do, and then trying to keep it on the turf. So it's out wide now, so Jordan Cheney is now out on the wing with Skylar. I don't know if they've switched or now they're switched back, so Jordan's back to the middle there. So slide to Hannah Willits, just a little bit beyond her reach. Over to Haley Groves, back to Hannah Willits. Looking for possession. There's your midfield stepping up and taking possession away from Lydia Martz and Allegany. So here's where Fort Hill needs to take transition and go deeper with the ball here.
Well, that was Bollock trying to get the ball to the outside beyond the defense, just unable to do it.
Yeah.
Again, like we spoke earlier, there's Stern stepping out to control the ball up around the 18.
Yep, and we talked about that earlier before the air about the stat, and there's a misleading stat about saves and when there's not a save, and both of these girls do it. There's not a stat for when they clear a ball and there's a lack of a shot on goal. There is no stat taken. But if you take a team and they don't get a shot on goal, that's huge to a team versus the 10 shots that they could get additional because if they stay back on the end line waiting for the ball. So even though the saves is a stat that they do keep, and that's a soccer stat, there is no stat when the keeper comes out and takes a shot away from a player. So,
right.
and we'll see that throughout the day by both. And I'd see this being a close scoring game because of that.
Yeah. They both teams just had substitutions come on, getting some fresh legs out there. Looks like we have a call against the Sentinels, so direct kick now from the midfield for Allegany.
Yeah, so Kelsey O'Neill takes the kick, and she'll take probably 90% of the kicks unless they try to quick kick. She has a huge leg, and you'll see her make a lot of the throw-ins, especially when they're deep in the opponent's third, because she'll put the ball near the goal, and then it's a heading opportunity to try to get the ball in the net. So let's see that it's passed back to Lydia March, trying to place it over Skylar's head and out of bounds. So. Yeah,
actually, even prior to that pass there, they had a nice through ball that I don't think the wing player read that she was going to put that through there. But it was definitely a good play. Just nobody was able to run onto the pass at that point.
Yeah, so Fort Hill has pulled up a little bit, so it makes it tougher to put a ball over the top. As you can see, they're pushed up to almost the 20-yard line on the football field. So that means that the Allegany wings and the forward have to stay back even with them to stay on sides.
There's a bad touch by the Fort Hill defender and leaves a one-on-one with the goalie. Shot, and there we have a defensive block by the keeper coming out again.
Yeah, so there's a save that Haley Turnett takes away the opportunity, and if she stays back, then Jordan Chain is going to get a clear shot on goal. And she did a great job of coming out, taking that opportunity away, because there is, like I said, that's a high chance, a high probability shot and goal. Jordan Chaney struggled early in the year trying to put the ball in the net the first 2 or 3 games. She finally got on the board, I think, on a head, or it was a corner kick or something, and she's been on fire lately. She did have 3 goals the other night against Kaiser, but they were 3 beautiful shots that she had taken. So
nice. Fort Hill is doing a decent job here getting the ball pushed out. They pulled up their defense, but again, once you hit that midfield, Allegany took control again.
Yep. Yeah, so there's the Fort Hill defender stepping in front of Skylar Ellsworth, kicking the ball out of bounds, and to be able to reset their defense and to mark up. And so Allegany's Sydney Lecklider takes the throw, gets it into Kaylin Lutton, who tried to get it up. So back to Allegany throwing again with Sydney Lecklider. So they're probably getting close to seeing Kelsey O'Neill come up to take a throw in. At any deeper, they'll probably see her come up.
Yeah, and she really does throw the ball well.
Yes.
I mean, she can get it close to the mouth of the goal for the offense, and if you can do that on a throw-in, that's huge because that puts the defense under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that it's a long run for her to go up there and throw it in, and then she has to hustle all the way back on defense because she is the center defender, and so she's the middle and a key part of that, so she has to hustle back. So.
Yep. And again, the ball was played in, Allegany player not able to get there, and it's an easy play for the keeper, Turnett, for the Sentinels.
Yeah, so there's the punt out beyond the 40, and that looked like she took a little bit off to try to keep possession. But again, if it ends up being a goal kick, the ball comes out to about the 30-yard line, so they gain a 10-yard difference, but usually it's about a 20.
Right, and there's a nice through ball to the wing out there. She crosses the ball in. Look at that.
What an opportunity there. Skylar Ellsworth with her 3rd cross of the day, and a beautiful one to Taylor McCloskey. Taylor has got it to the foot and just ended up kicking it wide of the goal. But a great opportunity there for Allegany to try to get up on the board.
Yeah, that particular type of play is difficult for a keeper because for the keeper it's all about angles. And when the ball's coming across like that, it's sometimes hard to read that. And you get that quick deflection, and the next thing you know, it's in the back corner of your goal.
Yeah, especially that close. You have little time to react off the kick, so then it's just instinct then. It's just to try to get a body. The best thing you can do is just rush the ball and take the angles down, like you're saying. The angles are important. If you stay on the line, you give somebody almost the entire mouth of the goal to try to score. So.
Yep. Nice throw in by the camper players right on the line, and look at how nice the player there got the ball up to is that Willits, I believe?
It's Hannah Willits with the ball now. It was Taylor McCloskey that made the nice pass up the line. So, and a clear out by Newman from Fort Hill. So now we will have our first corner kick On this side of our field, it may be their second corner kick of the game. I'm not good at memory, Monzo, so you might have to correct me on this sometimes.
It's all good. It's all good. That's is that March, number 35?
Yeah,
Lydia
it
March?
is. That's Lydia March, senior captain, taking the corner kick. Places the ball towards the middle.
And defended pretty well by the Mia Newman of the Sentinels.
Yeah, so she did a nice job of getting ahead on it just to get the ball out and keep it out of the mouth of the goal here. So you have, looks like 5 Allegany offensive players rushing the goal, so that's tough. So
And just a missed kick there by March. Unfortunately, the ball went beyond the back end of the goal. But, I mean, those things happen in soccer.
absolutely, they do. There's a lot of missed kicks, and especially today, what you have to remember is it rained earlier, so we don't have rain going on, but the ball is going to be slick. The turf is going to be wet the entire game, so those balls are going to skip. The ball is going to be wet, so that's easily, it can come off the foot the wrong way, and you'll get some missed kicks here throughout the day. So.
Exactly. And that was a nice little flick on. Unfortunately, again, as we've said several times, Fort Hill just can't maintain possession. And if you've noticed the difference in the two teams so far, Fort Hill's really looking to push the ball up as soon as they get a touch on it. And Allegany is, they're working the ball up. They pass it around. They don't try to force it. And that really is the reason that Allegany's had so much of the possession thus far in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Carly Bennett throwing the ball, and a freshman from Fort Hill does a great job. Her size is going to be huge for her for being a freshman, and she is a controlling mid for Fort Hill. They do have freshmen up the middle all the way through with Olivia Looker in the back, Carly Bennett in the middle, and then Becky Molyneux up front. So those are 3 key players for them, and it's a good future for what Fort Hill sees going up through the middle. So
Right, and that was Bennett there with the throw-in. And, that was an actually nice play. There was just nobody there to receive the ball. And look how far out the keeper came to try and make the play that time. She's out by the, 20, 32-yard line almost.
yeah, she's way out. But, I mean, really, if she doesn't come out, Skylar Ellsworth takes the ball and advances it in at her. So she did the only play that she could, is to come out, take the angle down, try to get something on the ball, and she did that. She was able to get, just enough of it to deflect it off, and for Fort Hill, to have an opportunity to move the ball back down the field again now. So.
And there's a nice little pass to the outside to the wing, to get possession and move the ball forward a little bit. And that through ball actually is going to be run onto. And the defender for Fort Hill actually got back and made a decent play to prevent the ball from going across the mouth of the goal.
Yeah, so it looked like Skylar Ellsworth, she timed the kick to stay on sides. She had about almost a step lead, and the Fort Hill girl, as soon as Skylar closed in to get the ball, the Fort Hill defender right in behind her, poking it out and set up for yet another corner kick. And here we do see Kelsey O'Neill from the back line up to take a kick to put the ball into the mouth of the goal.
And that was a nice cross at him. Just unfortunate that nobody could put a head on it right there in front of the goal. And here's a nice shot with the save by the keeper, Tonette. Who is it that took that shot there?
That was Lydia Martz there. So that's a deflection and getting the opportunity. So what we like to call that is you want to clean up the trash. So anything that rolls out like that, you have offensive players coming down to take those shots because they have the best opportunity to get that shot off. Kelsey O'Neill, what a great cross on that corner kick. She got it to the back third of the goal, and that's where you want it, is to get an opportunity to get a head on. And I think Fort Hill's probably scored 4 or 5 goals this year off of corner kicks, off of heads, either throw-ins or corner kicks. So.
Mm-hmm. And this play right here, a lot of people don't understand this play where the defender just kicks the ball to the sideline. That's actually a good play because you had a one-on-one defender, 2-on-1, 2 defenders and a offensive player, and to give your defense a chance to set up and prepare instead of having that risk of getting beat one-on-one.
Absolutely, and it's what it is. And so they had the opportunity, they had the numbers back, so then they have the throw-in to the Fort Hill wing, passes it over, and Katie takes the opportunity of a shot away, being that it was deep on the end line. But it's a key play in soccer. A lot of people don't like to see it kicked out. What you don't want to do is you want to try to make sure that you clear it out to the side and not end up with a corner kick. You'd much rather team to take a throw in.
Yes. And we see that Turnette's going to be very aggressive today because, again, she's standing on what's the 15-yard line for soccer, the 5-yard line for football, and she's still running sideline to sideline, playing out pretty far than what most goalies would play.
Yeah, I think she understands that if she stays back and leaves this gap between the defense, so the defense is pushed up to the 35, if she stays that far back, it allows Allegany to chip the ball over the defense, run on, and it becomes a one-on-one, or even worse, it could be two Allegany players with the ball with a shot on goal, and that's what Allegany would like to see. But Haley's being very aggressive and moving up, and that's what you need to do to keep this game close for sure.
Mm-hmm. Allegany just gave up possession in the midfield, but then get it right back in their defensive third. Now Fort Hill with possession again. They're trying to get the through ball to the far hash, and just a little too much on it. And Allegany's got it covered pretty well back there. Their defense was in good position, and their keeper stepped up to make the play.
Yeah, so that looks like it's really the first opportunity. Fort Hill's had the ball in the middle of the field to pass the ball up, and it was just too hard. So it's going to take the timing to get down. Again, like I said, on both ends, both goalies coming out and taking possession early and towards the top of the 18 and taking opportunities away. And it really does help both teams. So there we have a challenge. Fort Hill winning that challenge. And now they're looking to take possession in the middle of the field. And Allegany, the turnover, Allegany takes it over. Now they play it out wide, so we'll now have a Fort Hill throw-in.
Mm-hmm. One thing I've noticed so far in this game, Adam, is that the Allegany girls are doing a good job of using their body for positioning to take the ball away or keep the ball from Fort Hill even getting a touch on it.
Yeah, and there's several players that do a nice job of using their body to shield a player from getting to it, and then either making a pass out to a teammate or being able to make a move and advance the ball down the field. So we'll see that several times. Taylor McCluskey, number 17, does a great job of that, and we'll see that here when she gets possession. She has a one-on-one.
Oh, that's an offside there. She was, probably a good yard and a half off.
Yeah, she was clearly off. Phil Van Newkirk had the call, and the right call was made as a no call. It goes to Haley Turnett. Fort Hill gains possession, and they let the game play on. So
absolutely, always want the flow of the game to continue if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I always said that as a referee, that the fewer the time the whistles blow, the more the game is played on the field, and that's what you want to see. So.
Once again, the cross from Allegany and Turnett, intercepting it, getting it out to her forwards out there. Unfortunately, again, they just can't maintain possession.
Yeah, and I've talked about this with a lot of people, is when a kick is taken, like a corner kick, a goal kick, or even when the goalie punts the ball, it's a lot of possessions. Girls will have a tendency to try to use their leg, and it's so tough to possess the ball because usually it's a ricochet, and you really don't know which direction the ball is going to go. Some of the girls will use their chest and their body, and that's really what you want to do. So here we have, it looks like to be a foul. And it'll be an Allegany possession, and it looks like it is a direct kick. So Kelsey O'Neill coming inside the football 20. So she'll look at, it's probably borderline on whether or not she'll take the shot on goal. No, she does a chip, puts the ball in the middle of the field. Fort Hill gets a defensive foot on it, out to Hannah Willits, into Jordan.
Oh, we have a foul there.
Yeah, so we have a handball, it looks like, in the box, and we do have a penalty kick. So the reward for Kelsey O'Neill to do what she does is she gets usually the first opportunity to shoot the PK, and she is lining up. So we have number 5, Kelsey O'Neill, with the first real great opportunity to score for Allegany with a PK. So
this is always a tense situation for the keeper because she's really on the spot here.
And what a nice shot. So she hits the left-hand side, Haley Turnett, nothing you can do. If you go corners, you have to guess. Then you would have to anticipate, you would have to move to go. And I tell you, Kelsey, all year long with her PKs, she has found corners, and that's huge. It's huge to the game. Like we had talked about earlier, when you get a PK and you get the opportunity to score, that's huge in a game because there's many games that are won 1-0, 2-1. So one goal is definitely could be a difference in the game. So
absolutely. And with the restart, Fort Hill, trying to get the ball out to the wing, back into the hash mark, and just misplayed the ball, and Allegany taking control.
Yeah. So right now, Allegany is going to take the momentum because of the goal, and so what Fort Hill has to do is they need to gain possession and keep possession to try to get the momentum at least put back to even. So looks like we have a push here on Allegany. So Fort Hill will have the opportunity with a direct kick on about the 30-yard line coming into the goal, into Allegany's goal.
Mm-hmm. This right here is a good opportunity. A lot of teams will play this ball to the outside and look for the cross from there. If you've got someone who has an outstanding leg, which we could see in boys' game today, but some of them will take a shot from here.
Yeah, and what you'll see is Katie's lined up back on the goal, the goalie for Allegany. She'll come up and move left and right or come up. So what the defense does is they hold outside the 18, which holds the Fort Hill offensive line from advancing to get a ball, and it makes it very difficult. You have to have almost a perfect chip to get it to your own team that either it's not an offsides call or it doesn't get a possession by Allegany's keepers.
Right. And, good forward pass here on the restart. Allegany in the midfield, they had the ball well downfield after that kick. That was probably around the 40-yard line of the football field.
Yeah, so that's rare to get a goal kick to advance that far. So that's why I like to see Kelsey take those kicks. So.
And there's one of those through balls that the Allegany player was able to run onto, just not a real good touch. She was probably looking to cross it to the far side. Number 29 had a good run headed there. Unfortunately, like we said, it did rain earlier, and you have a lot of missed touches in this game because of, you never know where the ball is going to bounce, where it's going to ricochet, hit another player.
Yeah, so we have Kelsey O'Neill throwing the ball, and it's just like a corner kick. Her throw gets to the mouth of the goal and gives opportunity, so you just have to deflect it. So then the ball comes out, Kelsey's there to clean up the trash, and here she gets an opportunity to shoot on goal. So she took that shot. But the opportunity is there. The opportunity for the throw-in to be on ahead and be able to head it in, and that's opportunities that Allegany likes to see, and that's why you see her run all the way down the field to make that throw. So.
Yeah, we have a couple of Allegany players here that looks like they're going to check in on the next opportunity. And there's another nice through ball. Got a foot to it, just a little underneath of it.
Yep, so Skylar Ellsworth looked like it was her first shot opportunity on goal today. Maddie Poland is in, and she is the right wing. Taylor McCloskey was moved out to the wing, so now it looks like that they're replacing on the offensive line. So what it looks like Allegany is trying to do is keep the quickness on the front line, keep the speed up, and they can see that they have opportunities. So they want to have fresh legs up there to have those opportunities. So
yeah, they're definitely going to keep the pressure on Fort Hill's defenders. Again, we've had the ball in possession of Allegany for probably 20 of the 23 minutes that we've been here so far. And you see that, they were able to work it forward and get that penalty in the box for the first goal. And if they keep going like this, they're going to end up with a couple more before this is over.
Yeah, and absolutely. And what you want to do is you want to put the ball inside the 18 because you never know what happens. It could be a handball, there could be a trip, a push that gives you the opportunity to PK. So anytime a team can get the ball put inside the 18, that's what they're planning on doing.
And there was a nice little give and go basically out there on the far side.
Yeah, so we have Lutton passing it out to what is their defender. So Rylan Kennifer, out of her defensive position, has been moved up to the left wing and very capable of playing up. So she's been moved up to see. She'll have a couple opportunities here to shoot. They now are bringing Kelsey in to throw the ball, which will be put somewhere inside the hashes here. So just a little bit short. It looks like we have a shot on, shot wide of the goal, shot wide left. But again, Kelsey O'Neill having another opportunity. And with the leg that she has, you want her to take that shot anytime it's inside that football 20. Let her put it inside the frame or the opportunity to.
Absolutely. Like you were saying, she has the capability to put it on frame from that distance. And as you saw with the penalty kick she had, there was good power on that ball driving the ball into the corner of the goal.
Yeah, and like we talked about the wet turf, anything can happen, and even a ball with the goalies having their gloves, you can still have a ball that can slip through because the ball is going to be wet, especially if it rolls out to a kicker and then they're able to kick the ball on frame. So goalies today really have to concentrate on their saves. So here we have Haley Turnett going out, and like I said, just taking opportunities away. That's a great job of her going out and getting the ball, keeping it from going out to the end line. So watch, we'll have a kick down closer to, looks like it's going to land around the 40, bounce to the 50. And you just wouldn't have that on a goal kick. So
right, the Fort Hill players are trying to get possession of the ball. They're just really unable to, and then they have an opportunity like that, and they play it forward about 20 yards beyond any player on the field. They're going to have to work on the possession game because Allegany is not going to give them the opportunity to play the ball forward and break on it.
Yeah. So you have Jordan Chaney on a breakaway. She makes a great move crosses over. She uses her left and a shot and a great save by Haley Turnett, getting her left hand on that shot. A great shot by Jordan Cheney to move the ball to her left side, taking the left. And what a great opportunity. And Haley keeping it from being a 2-0 game, so she's keeping it within 1 goal. Great job on that save. That's difficult when you have a player inside the 18 and there's no defender between the goalie and her. And so great job on Haley Turnett's part there.
Fort Hill's going to have to be careful with getting those hands up in the air.
It looks like the ball hits the goal post and then the Fort. Yes, we have. Looks like a head might have went off the Fort Hill player, so we're going to have a discussion to see who knocked the ball out onto the what was the soccer goalpost and then up onto the football goalpost. So that is an out-of-bounds ball. The two referees getting together, making sure that they have the call correct. John Smith, the center official, is indicating that he had a better view of who touched it last. Fort Hill's goal kick coming out.
I want to go back to the shot on goal with the left foot, and you hit it right on the head. A lot of players will try to set up the ball for their right foot, and in that particular play, she used the left foot. She got a good shot on goal. You know, it doesn't always have to be about power when you're shooting on goal. It's placement, and she placed that ball in a really good position and forced the keeper to make an outstanding play.
Yeah, so what she did is she slid the ball to her left foot, which put the ball towards the middle of the goal, giving her the opportunity of placing the ball left and right. Whereas if she would have played it to her right, she would have been closer to probably the Fort Hill, the L in Fort Hill, making it a harder angle for her to shoot and score on, even though it would have been her power foot. But her angles, she wouldn't have had as many opportunities to put the ball in the net, so she did the right thing. So Jordan Cheney having possession of the ball deep inside the 18, passes it out to slide. What a great slide out to Skylar Ellsworth. And just a missed touch on it, so it's wide. But another great opportunity. Skylar Ellsworth, I could tell you all year, she has stepped up and has been a great leader, a great captain for this team, taking possession. She does a great job of feeding there. Jordan kind of rewarding her because usually it's Skylar passing to Jordan, and there it was vice versa. Jordan sliding the ball back out to give Skylar Ellsworth a shot, an opportunity.
And being an official, you know that a lot of schools, a lot of teams will not play that ball inside like that. They'll take that tough angle shot, and it's almost impossible to score from that.
Right. The only thing you can hope for is a deflection at that point. You knock it off a defender, you knock it off the goalie, because you really don't have any angles. So the only play is, and you have to have somebody there. So you have to make sure on your offensive team somebody is setting back, waiting for what we call that slide, and it's a slide back. And it's a great opportunity to score on. But like you said, so many times players will see that they're inside, they just take a shot and they hit the side of the net, and that's not the play that you really want. You want to be able to slide it back and get an opportunity to shoot and take that opportunity and get the higher chance, higher probability of making the goal.
Well, you're actually helping the keeper out on that if you take the shot from there, because you really don't have a shot. You're taking an opportunity away from your team when you do that, really.
Right, because the goalie stands and takes pretty much the rest of the angles away by just standing on the post, and then they'll stand on the near post. So if it does deflect off of them, hopefully it hits the post back to them or out of bounds. So.
And here we're going to have another corner kick. It looks like Kelsey O'Neill again is going to step up to take this. And like you said, she's going to have to hustle, because after she takes this kick, she is responsible for the middle of the field and defense.
Yeah. So what Allegany does is they have 4 defensive backs. What they do is they slide around. Emma Cook will slide to the middle. Kelsey will move up, but when she kicks, she'll start her movement back and work her way back to the defense. The defense knows they have to step up and at least possess the ball back and give Kelsey enough time. So there was the ball put in the center of the mouth of goal. Kaylin Lutton getting an opportunity ahead, just wide right for a goal kick for Fort Hill.
So we're down at almost the 10-minute mark. So we're 30 minutes into this matchup, and we're still at a 1-0 score. And even with all the good work that Allegany has put in, you can see how hard it is to get the ball past the keeper, especially one as aggressive as Turnett.
Yeah, absolutely. She's doing a great job in there to keep us at 1-0. Very easily, if she stays back on the goal, this is probably a 3 or 4-0 game at that time. So she's keeping the Fort Hill Sentinels in this game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So Allegany now with possession back on their defensive third. A little mistouch there, and the ball comes out. Fort Hill moves it up, but right to the Allegany defender again. And again, you see Fort Hill's just having trouble connecting passes.
Yeah, and that time there, the Fort Hill mid did step in front of the second pass from Allegany, but Allegany taking quick possession, moving the ball down to the left side, and looking for the opportunity. We have Leah Smith, freshman, in for Allegany now on that wing, looking for an opportunity there. So there's been plenty of opportunities, and like I said, Allegany is continuing to keep fresh legs up front by rotating around. So they brought the freshman in to get some minutes in, some quality minutes into this game.
Yeah, Allegany actually, like you said, they've been substituting pretty freely.
Yeah, so here's a quick throw. So and that's what you want to see. You want to see a quick throw in. Now you have a run. It's a one-on-one run. If there's a misplay, then the wing can take the ball and then possess it in, and then hopefully get a slide. With you have two offensive players from Allegany looking for that possession. So
right.
Set up for another corner kick and another Kelsey O'Neill. Like I said, she has to condition herself a little bit different than everybody else on the team. I think she has to stay after and run for 20 minutes just for this reason, because she's up and down so much on the field.
Yeah,
so.
with throw-ins, corners, she'll be all over the place.
Yeah.
And the ball cleared there by Mia Newman out over the end line, so we'll have another corner for Allegany.
Yeah, she didn't get quite enough foot underneath of it to get it lifted up. It's just with her power alone, it doesn't allow Mia Newman to gain possession. All she can do is really deflect it, trying to possess it with her. So here's another corner kick, and the ball is in flight towards the mouth of the goal. Skylar Ellsworth with a head and just wide left.
That was a really good effort there, Adam. She tried to place the ball. She'd actually put it in the right spot. It was just a little off the mark.
Yeah, I see Kyle Martz has really done a great job with this team over the season. At the beginning of the year, those balls were going through, and nobody was touching those balls. And he really got onto them about that they've got to put a head on it, because all you got to do is get it in the direction of the goal, because you just don't know where the goalie is. And they have, and probably the last half of this season, they've done a great job of getting a head on it and getting it towards the goal. So.
Yeah, they're spreading Fort Hill out a little bit right now, making them chase the ball.
Yeah, and like we talked about before, Fort Hill was just decimated with injuries, loss of a couple players from transfer, and it really hurts. And they don't even have a JV program, so they don't even have players to pull up from like Allegany does. So as the game goes on, the girls will wear out. Their advantage today is that it's not as hot as some of the other games, but again, you can only run for so long. I mean, you really need your own breaks, and it's difficult when you only have, I believe it's 2 subs today for Fort Hill.
Yeah. And like you said, Allegany, they're playing this very well because they're substituting freely and they're keeping fresh legs on the field all the time, just like you were talking about, especially up front. Their defense really hasn't been tested, so their midfield is doing all the work. And that's going to be good for them in the second half.
Yep, absolutely. Allegany does a great job with getting the ball to the mids, to their senior mids, and today they've looked very well of keeping possession, getting a nice pass out. So Kayla Lutton making a move. And you do have a breakaway here of about a 5-on-3. Lydia March taking a shot, and a shot to the right, and a goal by Lydia March to the right side of the net. What a great placement, and what a great shot by the senior mid, stepping up and taking a shot just outside the 18. And it's about placement. That's not always about how hard you can kick it. It is placement. And again, placement, Haley would have had to have pre-guessed and would have had to have known that shot was going to the left-hand side of her left to go get it.
Right. And I have a question for you. Who was the player that played the ball over to her? Because she's the one that actually set that up.
Yeah, I think it was Kaylin Lutton. Kaylin Lutton had possession. She was the one going deep on, and we were saying that it was a 5-on-3. And she made that slide over to her because they had the numbers, and she found the foot of Lydia Martz keeping the ball on the ground. One touch, bang, in the back of the net. So it's great opportunities. Allegany really they've matured over the season, just with gaining possessions and doing what they're doing here today. As you can see, they don't want to kick and run, so they want to possess this. Now we have a breakaway here from Taylor McCloskey with a shot on goal at the keeper, and a great save by Haley Turnett going down to get it, doing a great job of using her body to make sure that it doesn't kick out, knowing that the ball in the ground is wet. So,
right, and even now you can see some of the energy from the Fort Hill players is kind of running out of them. Down here on the sideline, we've got a substitute waiting to come in, and I noticed that she was there, bending over, stretching a little bit, but also trying to catch her breath.
Yeah, absolutely. There was an opportunity there. Haley Turnett places her her kick up to the 50 to Becky Molnex. Peggy having really one of the first breakaways, and Skylar Ellsworth staying with her. And so we have a foul here on Kaylin Lutton with a push. Fort Hill will have a direct kick just inside the 50 with the Fort Hill players slow at getting up. It looks like she is okay, and she'll continue on.
Yeah, we've had actually a very clean game to this point. I think there's only been a few fouls, and that's actually what you want to see. These teams, even though they're playing physical against each other in some instances, they're doing a good job of keeping it clean overall.
Yeah, so there was Carly Bennett. She's placing the ball down and trying to – it wasn't a shot. I mean, especially as far out as she was trying to just place it in to get it to one of her players, and Katie Stern stepping right up and making sure that didn't happen. There's a pretty easy call for John Smith to make there for Jordan Chaney, and probably the right foul for Mia Newman, because she knowing that they looked like Allegany was going to have numbers if Jordan gained possession.
Yeah,
Jordan, she is a hard, tough kid. So
you got a little extra action down there.
Yeah, so that's always interesting. So John, he'll talk to him. He'll definitely be in their ear to both to get him to knock it off. He is talking to him to make sure. So great job on John. He'll keep control here. So it's girls being girls. It's when one runs into the other one, like we always say, we always end up getting the retaliation and miss the first one. But it does get testy out there because it is physical. Soccer is a physical game. So looks like we have a goal kick. So it was possession from Haley Groves and out wide. It looked like Mia Newman may have kicked it off of Haley Groves.
Yeah. To
get the ball out. So finally, the Fort Hill player, I think she's been up there for about 3 or 4 minutes as a sub, and it took that long for Fort Hill to gain an out-of-bounds possession to get her in. Newman now out of the game. So
this is the second time I've noticed that a defender has had to tie the shoes for the keeper. I'm not sure what's going on there. That's not something you normally see.
No, usually they have them taped and tied, but it is funny because I had that the other night up at Southern because the goalie has the gloves on and it takes them a good 30 seconds probably to put them on and get them on right, so they always have to have somebody else. So I actually had stopped the game when they yelled down at me to give an opportunity to get it tied. So I look always you want to always side on the you want to make sure safety is first. So
Right. And again, Allegany just not letting Fort Hill clear the ball out of their defensive third. And here we have another shot.
And up, and that was Hannah Willits that took that shot. She had it just outside the 18 and actually on that part of the circle above the 18. Great shot, only just high by the football field goal post as she hit it. So what a great opportunity that was off a deflection. Allegany had deep possession. Deflected off right to Hannah Willits in the middle, and she got that shot on, and it was just high for her. So here we got another goal kick, quickly possessed by Kaylin Lutton from Allegany. Looking at now, she's trying to get possession again, so she'll slide it back to Sydney Licklider, and it'll probably go back. Yep, it's going to go across, so they're going to go across. So that just shows you they don't always know where the ball's going to go. So it looked like they were going to play it back and reverse it and get it to the opposite side of the field. But ultimately ends up over here. Rachel Bush having the ball down the sideline, making a move. She's going to make a cross. Taylor McCloskey trying to get a back kick over to Jordan Chaney. She slides to Kaylin Lutton, opportunity, and just missed. Over to Haley Groves inside the 18. The Fort Hill girls converge. Looks like one slow to get up. Still playing, and the shot on goal, Jordan Chaney again. So, again, there's an opportunity. There's a girl down, but it's tough. It's tough because you have people yelling at you. But Allegany has an opportunity to shoot and score, and you have to allow that play to continue until Allegany loses the possession of the shot on goal.
And it's good that you brought that up because I was actually going to say a lot of people see someone go down or they tumble like that, and it looks really bad. But in all truthfulness, it's not as bad as it looks from the stands. It's just a bump, and she lost her balance. She goes down. But from the stands, the fans are always going to be on the refs, especially if it's their kid.
It is. It's kind of a tough thing with refereeing. You have to understand is we understand our rule book. Sometimes it doesn't look good. We do have to side on, or we have to, keep safety in mind. If it looks like it's an injury that is severe, then we'll make precautions or we'll step in a little bit earlier. But you have to allow the attacking team their opportunity. You can't take it away just because of an injury down. So it is tough. It's tough to make that call. But now the new rule for high school is on an injury, it's an automatic drop ball. And it's no longer, if a team has clear possession, they keep possession. So it makes it more difficult for the official to stop it when somebody is attacking. So.
Got you. And that's actually, we're coming up with less than 8 seconds, so we might have time to get a shot off here if they get it quick.
And it's a
And
shot
they do,
off,
off
and
the
it's off
post.
the post, and 1-2-1, no, and it's not going to be. The time is expired, and wow, what an opportunity. Monzel, you called that on the time down. Under 6 seconds, Haley Groves getting an opportunity, shoots and hits the right post. And almost an opportunity, probably if there were about 3 or 4 more seconds, Jordan Cheney may have ran on to hit that. So what a great opportunity Allegany had there at the end. But they do take the lead going into halftime as a 2-0 lead. A great, definitely well possessed by Allegany the first half. Fort Hill just hanging in there to keep knocking the ball out. Haley Turnett doing a great job in there to keep the score to a 2-0 game at halftime.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be back after the intermission.
The Sentinelettes, the first half, we have a 2-0 score for Allegany. Getting ready to set for the second half. Alongside of me, sitting there is Allegany High School's junior David Miller. David, welcome to the broadcast here for the second half to start.
Thank you for having me.
Great. And David, what is your role today with the Allegany Media in this broadcast?
Well, with Allegany, I'm the sports anchor on our morning show, Allegany Morning Live, which we do every morning. And then today, I'm here to be an assistant broadcaster.
All right, very good. Well, this is my first for doing it here as well, so we're two together, as well as Monzel, who's just going to take a backseat here just for a few minutes to allow David to come up and get this opportunity as well. And so we're getting ready to start the second half. Both teams coming out onto the field. It looks to be, like I said, it's turned out to be a very nice day. It looks like the sun's actually trying to break through now, but we see the mountains on the backside, which is a good thing. If we lose them, we know there's some more rain coming, but hopefully with the forecast, it'll stay away for the rest of the day, and we'll have a great day of soccer. So, David, welcome aboard, and we're getting ready to start the second half. So we have John Smith is checking with the officials, checking with the goalies, and we have the start of the second half with Allegany's possession. So Skylar Miller passing it back to Lydia Martz, taking the ball to the mid, out wide to Sydney Licklider on defense, the defensive third. Is where she plays, but moving the ball up, so she'll advance up as the offense goes, and Sydney now taking the throw in. So looks like she has possession. She passes it back to Emma Cook, over to Kelsey, back to Emma. It'll be a slide. She'll look at gaining possession here, in which she does. Now looking for a pass out to Sydney out wide. It looks like Fort Hill has moved up, moved their defensive team up, so it's causing Allegany. So we have a shot on goal by Jordan Cheney, who broke away from the Fort Hill defender, shot wide, but an early shot within the first minute of the second half. So Allegany's looking to get some shots off on goal here early, David.
Yeah, so it's, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's not a lot to say about it other than it was a shot wide, but it's shot early. That's what you want to do. You want to get the girls' legs back into the game.
For sure.
Go quickly. And again, here we have quick possession off of a goal kick. Skylar Ellsworth gets the ball, and she puts the ball back. And it's still, again, wide, but they're getting their shots early here. So Allegany is trying to get it back inside the frame.
Doing exactly what they did to finish out the first half, for sure, trying to dominate their side of the field. Okay.
Yeah, so they're gain possession, quick possessions, like you said, and then they gain possession, looking to move the ball around and looking to get some more shots here in the second half as well. So Kelsey O'Neill playing the ball all the way back to Katie Stern, who possesses it. She's looking to play the ball out wide. A turnover right to Becky Mullinex, who quickly lost it back to Kelsey O'Neill, but a break that Allegany got away with. So here we have a foul close to midfield by Taylor McCloskey, so it'll be a Fort Hill direct kick coming up here. So it looks like Mia Newman, looks like she will be setting up to take the kick as Allegany is pulled up to the 20-yard line. And it looks like it goes to Becky Mullinex, who's trying to gain possession quickly cleared out by senior Lydia Martz from Allegany, up to Kaylin Lutton, over to Skylar Ellsworth back to Kalen Lutton, who now Fort Hill's trying to take possession. Looks like they're going to play it out wide. So it looks like this will be a throw-in, and it'll be a Kelsey O'Neill throw-in, just like we saw in the first half. So we expect this throw to be towards the net and a heading opportunity or a possession down and trying to get a shot opportunity here. So we have a throw-in by Kelsey O'Neill into the middle half of the field. Hannah Willits getting a leg on it, and Fort Hill quickly clears it. Carly Bennett from Fort Hill clears it out. Sydney Licklider gains possession from Allegany, back to Emma Cook, back to Sydney, over to the middle. So they're trying to get the ball up to the mid. Played it out wide and just out too far. So it will be a Fort Hill throw-in, and Fort Hill's Carly Bennett making the throw. So we have the ball in. Looks like Emma Cook takes possession of the ball up to Jordan Cheney. Quick little touch out back to Sydney. Sydney looking to try to put the ball back in, and Fort Hill stepping up to keep the ball and knocking the ball out of bounds. So Allegheny will take possession on a throw-in.
I'd like to take a second, if I could, to acknowledge the fact that I'm not here alone. I have fellow castmates and people who also work on Allegany Morning Live with me here, helping broadcast the game as well. Eric Kirshner, our weatherman, is working the camera currently. Tyler Dicken, our main host, is also here. John Toothaker is also here. Kendall Johnson is working the graphics, and Jack, who does our technical aspect on Allegany Morning Live, is also doing the same thing here.
Very good. That's great. It's great that they have the Allegany High School team here broadcasting this, and what a great opportunity it is for the girls to have this game broadcasted. And it's
for sure
great for people that can't make it, that are out of town. So here we got a shot on goal, and it's in the net by Hannah Willits.
What a shot.
Senior, wow, on the right-hand side, inside the 18, a slide from her. What a shot to the left-hand post. So she takes it from the right side all the way across to the left side and in the net. What a great shot there by Hannah Willits.
That was a phenomenal shot from the right side. Puts Allegany up 3-0. Great to see it.
Yeah, and I unfortunately didn't see who slid the ball over to her.
I missed that as well.
Yeah, that's where I need Monzel to look over my shoulder
Yeah.
here and say who the assist was. So he gives me the same thing. I understand we're new at this too, so it gives us a little bit of time to get our feet under us. But Fort Hill takes the kickoff. They get about 2 touches. Allegany gains quick possession, and they now get it back to the defensive third of the team. Now moving it forward. Fort Hill now trying to take possession. They're moving down the sideline, and Rylan Kennifer kicking it out wide, so it allows the Allegany defense to reset. Quick throw in by Fort Hill trying to make a move. Gain possession, making a move, and Lydia March makes it clear. So Fort Hill puts the ball back, trying to get it back up to that front line, but Lydia March then puts another head on it and another clear out. So she's taking control of the mid here early on in the second half, getting a lot of touches and a lot of clears here. So it looks like Rylan Kennifer trying to get the ball back up the field. Fort Hill will make a throw in here. We have a throw in to Fort Hill. So we have a one-on-one. Hannah Willits takes possession of the ball, and Lydia March steps up, gets a foot on it to Skylar Ellsworth, who passes it out to Emma Cook. Emma's going to look at sliding it to the middle. Quickly, Carly Bennett steps in between, gets to it. Kelsey O'Neill calling out. Katie Stern to come out and gain possession of the ball. Katie gets it for her kick back out. So we have a high kick out just beyond the 40 to Skylar Ellsworth. Quickly, Fort Hill takes possession. And now we have looks like a run in between 2 players. Both, it looks like they bang knees. Looks like they're trying to shake off this. So we have a foul by Allegany and a Fort Hill direct kick inside. Looks like to be possessed around the 25 or so. But it looks like the 2 players, Kaylin Lutton and the Fort Hill player, looking at trying to shake off where they had banged knees earlier. So Carly Bennett taking possession. She puts the ball up and just wide of the frame and picked up by Katie Stern. Brought out and possessed, and she'll look to kick the ball away. So she kicks it out, looking to try to gain possession in the front. Gets out and just wide of Skylar Ellsworth's foot, but quickly possessed by Lydia Martz. Outplayed well to Taylor McCloskey. Looks to make a move, and Haley Turnett making a great opportunity, goes down to her knees, knowing that she couldn't use her hands. Did a good job to keep it away from Taylor, and it looked like they were trying to slide it over to Jordan Chaney to try to get another goal here in the second half. So
Fort Hill's defense is really stepping it up here after letting up 2 goals, I'm sorry, in the first half. They're doing what they need to do. It's good to see it.
yeah, they're
Make
still
it a
playing
nice
hard.
competitive game.
Like you said, they're not quitting. They're down 3-0. They know that a ball in the net puts it 3-1, and it gets it back to where they can play. So they know that they're still playing hard, and they'll continue to play hard this entire game here. So
Yeah, this game is far from over.
yeah, so Kelsey O'Neal's throw into the middle of the field to Skylar Ellsworth's foot. She tries to possess it and kicks it wide of the frame. So we have a Fort Hill substitution coming in now. So it looks like Cheryl Maestros, a freshman for Fort Hill, coming into the game. And we have a goal kick for Fort Hill. Haley Turnett takes the kick out, and it gets out to Fort Hill's Becky Mullinex. Played up. Kelsey O'Neal takes possession out to Taylor McCloskey out wide, and Fort Hill's possession on a throw-in.
Destiny Barney on the throw for the Sentinels.
Throw-in to Becky Mullinex. Off her chest, and then she gains possession. She quickly gets it to Newman, passed up forward, and now quickly turned back over in Allegany possession. Right now the ball being played in the air, so right now it's back and forth. Hannah Willits trying to gain possession. Fort Hill takes it, looks to advance it. They play the ball back. They play the ball forward back to Kelsey O'Neal from Allegany, who turns and attempts to kick it off Fort Hill player, deflects, but there is a Fort Hill player there, possesses it. And the ball placed down in and just wide. So this will now be an Allegany throw-in. So it looks like number 15, Ryan Kennifer, will make the throw for Allegany. And the ball in. Fort Hill tries to gain possession. They knock the ball out. So now Allegany's Kelsey O'Neal to throw the ball about 30 yards. And it's close. It's at least 20 on that one. So another possession and another, like I said, stepping out. Haley Turnett coming out beyond the 18 to get the ball away from Jordan Chaney to keep the score at 3-0. Possession by Allegany. Throw in up to Taylor McCloskey. Out. She calls it to Hannah Willits. Back to Taylor on a breakaway down the right-hand side. She slides the ball to Jordan Chaney, who gets a ball. She gets a foot on it, and just wider than that. It was challenged by Haley Turnett. Good sportsmanship. Both of them getting up and slapping each other on the back for a well-played ball on both ends. So we have a Fort Hill goal kick. Again, Haley Turnett. David, that was a great play again by Haley Turnett. She's been active back there, and she has to be today, and they knew it. So
Yeah, she's been having a phenomenal game for sure back there. Only allowing 3 goals, but the score doesn't do her justice for sure.
Absolutely. Yep, so Becky Mullinex taking the ball up and just play out wide, so it looks like Allegany will make the throw in. So waiting on a ball. Back to Rylan Kennifer. Looks like Kelsey O'Neal is calling for Taylor McCloskey to come back because it isn't Kelsey's throw, so it doesn't go as far. So anybody throwing it versus Kelsey for Allegany is going to be shorter.
Right.
So some ball, looks like a little bit of pinball back and forth between the two teams. Back to Kelsey O'Neal. Now back up to Emma Cook, out wide to Rylan, and looks like it's out of bounds close to the 50. So we have a long day here, and it sounds like, David, you said you're here for all 3 games. So
Yes, sir.
fortunately
I'll be here
for
all
me,
3.
that's good. I'm here for the girls' game, and then I'll get relieved, and then I'll end up on the field to referee the JV game. So I talked to you before at halftime just to try to be nice to me as I'm out calling that game, that you don't say that's a terrible official out there.
I'll try my best if I'm back on for the JV game.
It's okay if you do. It won't be the first time that I've heard that comment. So
That's part of being a referee, I'd assume. It's
Yeah.
got to be rough.
absolutely. Yep, it looks like we have an offsides by Jordan Chaney. Haley Groves had the ball deep inside the 18, tried to play it out to Jordan. Jordan looked to be just an offsides by the AR and the whistle blown. So indirect kick back out from Fort Hill. So we have Haley Turnett taking the indirect kick out and possessed at the 50 by Fort Hill's number 21, Allie Miller. And possessing, it looks like she is making a run down the left side. She's broken away from Rylan Kennifer. She's going deep into the 18, and Kelsey O'Neill is stepping up again by the defense. It looks like that the Fort Hill player probably is tired from the amount of running that she just did. She possessed at the 50, made a complete run all the way down inside the 18 before Kelsey O'Neill took it away from her. So I'm sure that she's probably gassed from that run alone. So Allegany quickly taking possession, throw in coming up from Hannah Willits. So Skylar Ellsworth trying to possess it, goes out wide here. So David, anything else before Monsell jumps back in? Do you have anything else that you'd like to talk about? Anything at Allegany or anything going on other than just getting ready? It's a great opportunity. I'm glad that you had an opportunity to step in here. You'll have other opportunities again today, so it gets your feet wet for the day. But just it's a great opportunity. I'm glad.
Sure. Broadcasting is actually what I want to go into as a career, which is why I joined our morning broadcast show at school. So getting opportunities like this is always phenomenal. Even I'll be honest, I'm not a big soccer guy, but just being able to be in here, be in this situation, to be able to sit and talk about a sport, and to be able to talk about what's going on, it's a great experience for sure.
Yeah, as a soccer referee in the area, as a coach of the Travel Avid Phoenix team, the girls that are playing today and playing around the area that are on our team, it's a different view for me to stand up here or to sit up here and talk about the game in this way. So it's new to me. It's a new experience as well. So it's new to all of us and a great opportunity. Again, David, thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
And the listeners will hear David's voice here again shortly for the boys game. So again, thank you, David.
You're welcome.
So we'll have Monsell Smith stepping back up to the mic. I'm sure he's anxious to probably get some words in here of what he has observed to give me an opportunity, because I know everybody's probably tired of hearing my voice, Monsell. So it's your opportunity. What a great shot on by Kelsey O'Neill. Haley Turnett making a save. It looked like it was a shot that was going to be in the goal. Great job on her reaching out.
Yeah, as you and David said, Allegany came out and pressed from the very start here in the second half. They've gotten a couple of nice shots. And again, here we have another shot that Turnett takes the angle away and makes the play.
Yeah.
Fort Hill did have the nice run down the far sideline. And like you said, she was gassed by the time she got down there, trying to catch her breath after the ball was possessed by O'Neill. But, again, Allegany has dominated the possession of this game, and they've been relentless in keeping the pressure up at the top. And Fort Hill has struggled to stop that. Again, what you've seen here today, as we have a throw-in now for the Sentinels, Allegany is confident in their passes. They'll take the short passes and work the ball up. They'll take the long pass when it's there. And, they're forcing Fort Hill to chase. And you can see it even at this point in the second half. You can see that the Fort Hill players are getting tired.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're still playing. I mean, like I said, they'll play. They won't play the score. They'll play the game, and they'll play the minutes. It is difficult. I didn't really realize it at the beginning of the game. Didn't realize that Olivia Looker was out, but she's the controlling defender back there that's missing. So Mia Newman had to step up, and they had to slide people around of people that are typically not back in the back. So when you make adjustments like that, that makes it difficult. And the way that Allegany's been playing the last 4 or 5 games with possession, and even against when they played the undefeated Hampshire team, it was a well-played ball game. They have grown as a team over this year, and they do look better as the season gone on for Allegany, where Fort Hill has fought injuries. Like I said, the departures of 2 players that they're missing. And again, like a key role of missing Olivia Looker today, not in the back as controller, and her size also that helps her to keep getting knocked off the ball.
Exactly. As we were pointing out in the first half, we saw it right here. Allegany players twice on that last possession used their body really well to shield the Fort Hill players off the ball. And, that's a big reason why they've possessed the ball so much today, is because they've taken control of those situations. Like here, we see it again. The Allegany player completely shielded the Fort Hill player, even though the Fort Hill player did eventually gain possession. But that's what you want to do. You want to force them to fight through to get to the ball. And for the most part, they have not been able to do that today. Now we have a throw in here again for Allegany in the mid third of the field.
On the throw.
And look at that throw. I mean, that's a 25-yard throw in.
Yeah, and then ultimately here's so what you get out of that is a throw in is near the 50. One throw and one touch. Fort Hill is a missed touch, and now we have a corner kick. So we went from a throw in on the 50 to now a corner kick and an opportunity to score. So that's huge to make that throw to go almost 25 yards down the field. So
Absolutely.
ball's played out back to Kelsey O'Neill. She plays the ball up to, it looks like Leah Smith is in the game, over to Sydney Leclatter, who puts the shot up on goal, and a great save over her head by Haley Turnett. What a great shot by the defender on Sydney Leclatter.
Yeah, that was definitely going to drop underneath the bar. You know, she had no choice but to make that play. And if she doesn't, we're looking at another goal for Allegany.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great opportunity there for Sydney to step up and get that shot in. She actually put it up left-footed, so to get it up over Haley Turnett's head, you take that opportunity every time.
Right, and here we see Allegany substituting again, keeping fresh legs in. In the last 6 minutes, that's 4 substitutes that have come onto the pitch for the Campers. And, you know, Allegany is just wearing down by keeping fresh legs because, you know, Fort Hill does have a couple players out, and, you know, that plays a big part. Like you said, you have to shuffle people around and find positions where you think that they're going to be the best fit in a game like this. And, you know, if you're not used to playing that position, it's very difficult to find a rhythm.
Yeah, it is. And then especially when you get gassed and then you come out for 2 or 3 minutes like Fort Hill would do, and then they have to go back in because somebody else is gassed, a player may not be ready to come back in the game. Here you got Leah Smith passed out wide, a freshman for Allegany, and an opportunity, a left foot and just wide, but getting the opportunity. And that's a great opportunity for her as a JV player that is up on varsity today. So we have several of those players. Maddie Poland, who has been moved up for the remainder of the season, she has been in the game early, and actually I think she is up and looks like she'll be coming in the game now. So another freshman for Allegany.
Yeah. You know, that last shot, the last couple of shots actually by Allegany have been left-footed shots. And we talked about how huge that is when you don't have to set up the right foot. And when Fort Hill had the possession down here at their last opportunity, you take that second delay to set up your right foot, and the defender is in position. And when she tried to cross the ball, the pass was no longer there.
Yeah. So there we had possession deep, and Fort Hill looks like the player is slow to get up. Number 21, I think that is Allie Miller. Yes, it is. She's the one that banged these earlier. I think she's the one that went down in the box late. So she's been on the turf several times today, so I'm sure it's just tired. Now, there's the move. There's the left foot and the left foot kick, and just not. It's played right at the keeper there. But again, just as you just talked about less than a minute ago, if Jordan takes that right foot shot, she kicks it into the Fort Hill defender, and it never gets an opportunity where she possesses it over on her left foot. Again, Leah Smith taking the shot with her left foot. If she tries to play it right, she's kicking the ball straight out of bounds. So
Exactly.
you have to take those. You have to shoot with what foot the ball is on, and on that left side, you've got to be able to take that left-footed shot.
Yeah, I mean, Fort Hill will see better days in the coming years because, like you said, they have 3 freshmen that are starting in the middle right now. And, they got a couple players out, but, give those girls a couple of years to progress at the varsity level, and they'll be good players.
Yeah, absolutely. They have, it looks like, I can't tell how many seniors Fort Hill is sitting on. I know Haley Turnett in the goal is. I know
I believe they have
Newman
3.
Yes, it looks like there's 3 or 4.
4,
in
there's
the
a
game.
fourth one,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a 4th one there. So, but we talked about the 3 freshmen that are up playing, that are starting, that are in those key roles. When you're in the middle of the field, you're key. If you're a center mid, you're key because you're a controlling mid. If you're a center back, you're controlling the back. And again, where Becky Molnex plays up front, and where she is right now, she is the center forward. And opportunities for her to shoot and goal. If she gets an opportunity to shoot, you'll see she'll do something amazing with her footwork. She does a great job.
There's another left-footed pass. They were trying to drop the ball in over the defense, and like you said, that chip shot or chip pass is so difficult to make.
Yeah.
And after the little bit of action there on the left side of the goal, the keeper steps up and is able to make the easy play. And then we see here just one pass up that's just off the mark, and now we have Allegany with the throw-in again in the midfield.
Yep. So we have a couple of players, Lydia Martz and Maddie Poland, coming in for Allegany, and number 16, Kara McCusker, is coming in for Fort Hill. It looks like Carly Bennett. She looks like she is gassed. That poor kid, she got her head down, playing hard out there. She was the one that actually made that. She ran on that ball there deep in the box when the Allegany had that last possession.
That's
so
right.
She made a long run to get to it. So understand that. So it looks like we have an Allegany. Maddie Poland was trying to make the possession. Like Fort Hill's number 3, I believe. Monzo, I'm not good at looking the distance.
Yeah, that's
here,
Amber Armbruster. I believe you were right, but that was a good play. A lot of people will say, well, "Why'd you kick it out of bounds?" But again, she had to let the defense get set, so that's actually a smart play. You do try to play it off the touchline, which is the sidelines, but you take the play that's there when you have to take it. And here we had another left-footed shot. I mean, that's got to be 3 left-footed shots in the last couple of minutes now by Allegany. And again, it was on target, and the keeper stepped up to make the play.
Right, and you're right, Monzo. Everybody says about playing the ball out to the sidelines and don't play it out, but there are times you cannot play it out to the side, and you want to reset your defense, especially if there's a run being made. You don't want them to take possession, because if they get it by you, now they're going to be taking the ball to the keeper. Keeper then has to make a decision to commit to that girl or watch the person in the slide. So.
Right. And you'll see in the next game, the boys' game, Allegany and Fort Hill both do that extremely well. They'll play the ball back to the keepers from the midfield. They'll work the ball to the sidelines, and they'll take just an easy touch to get it out over the sideline to let the defense get set.
Yeah, I would like to. I'm looking forward to seeing the game plan that Fort Hill is going to have. I wasn't fortunate. I was actually refereeing the night that they played the first time here. But Allegany is all about possession, both the girls and the boys. And you'll see that here shortly with the boys' team, is they're all about possession. So it looks like Maddie Poland with the ball out, and now we have a throw in deep. So look like a little bit of physical play there.
Mm-hmm.
But John, again, allowing them to play, and that's what we want that.
And yet again, we have another Allegany sub. They're just wearing them down.
Yep.
They've done it the whole game. It's a great game plan by the coach to keep the pressure on, and it's worked beautifully for Allegany today.
Yeah, it has. The Allegany coaching staff with the guys that are there, they do a nice job with them. The girls have really come into their own. But like you said today, when you see that you have a numbers game, that's what you want to do. You want to keep rotating and keep fresh legs, because the last 15 minutes here, it is going to be difficult for Fort Hill. It'll make it very difficult to make a run to get back in it, but at some point they're just trying to keep the score at the same because of just tired legs.
Right,
nothing
right.
else.
And, I mean, you can't say anything bad about them, because they've done what they've had to do with the personnel they have today. And, they have moved people around, and they've suffered through a tough season. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This has been a learning year for Fort Hill. But as I said earlier, the future looks good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. They knew coming in that they were going to struggle because of the numbers, because of the loss of 2 players transferring out, and key players at that. But they have stayed together. When I'm out there on the field, they don't fight amongst themselves, and that's big. You got to keep that team unity regardless of what your record is. You got to play the game and don't play the score, don't play the record, because you take away wins. You may not win the game, but there are things that you may have figured out that you won that day, that you possessed the last third of the game, anything like that.
Right.
Or just the toughness of Haley Turnett coming out and stepping out almost to the 20-yard line to play that ball out. So
right, and you'll see here the last 15 minutes or so that Fort Hill will not give up. I mean, they'll keep playing, but they're just a step slower because of the numbers game.
Yeah, so it looks like Mark's trying to get his subs back in here. Allegany with another corner kick. The ball played out wide to Maddie Poland, but the defender from Fort Hill stepping up and getting her foot in on it. So Maddie Poland, here's the opportunity here that we're talking about. This should be a headed ball, and Lydia should be putting it out close to the middle part and should be ahead here. The attempt and just missed, but a kick by Maddie Poland, left-footed, and a left-footed kick by Skylar Ellsworth. Wow, what a kick by her. So a deflection back out to her. Again, it's tough for Haley Turnett to be moving. She would have been moving to her right once the ball came off a deflection, right to Skylar Ellsworth, and Skylar banging it into the left side of the net. Again, positioning. What a great shot that was.
And I can't say this enough. That is another left-footed shot. And that only happens because the Allegany wing stayed out wide, and when the ball was popped out, she was there, and she did try to take a shot, a little bit of a mistouch, but the ball went right to Ellsworth, who was able to put the left foot on it.
Yeah, and I don't want to burst her bubble, but she is left-footed, Montel. So she wants to get it on her left foot, but she does kick it. When you see her kick it right-footed, she doesn't have as much power, but she does, and she'll play it to her right foot. She'll do the same exact thing. She does a great job of possessing it when it's one-on-one, gaining possession. She does a great touch to herself. And then she usually then is a very unselfish player that gives it up in a heartbeat. So here we have the ball played up to Caitlin Lutton, out to Maddie Poland, who's trying to make the run again with the same defender. She's gained possession, and it looks like we got a push here on Maddie Poland. So I think it's a little back and forth there between the two.
Right.
And like I said, it does happen when you have a run in. And then there's a second run, and usually there's going to be a third push, and that's basically what had happened there. So,
and they've battled well today. I mean, it's been a clean game, and they're tired. You get frustrated, especially when you're down 4-0 in a game as big as this here in Cumberland. And they're actually maintaining themselves very well, and for the most part, it's been a very clean game.
Yeah, absolutely. Rachel Bush there. A quick shout out to her. This is her first year playing soccer since I believe she was 8. And she's had to step up and be a starter from injuries from Allegany. She's one of the first 2 off the bench, so she gets quality minutes. And what a great job she's done to have to step out on a varsity field from the last time that she played was a youth AYSO game to now come out here and play a high school sport. And she's done a great job for them to step up and give quality minutes. So.
Yeah, that's huge. Anytime you can get a substitute to give quality minutes or someone that's put in a position that they're not used to, and like you said, that's awesome and huge for that young lady since she hasn't played since AYSO. And then we had a nice left-footed shot there by the wing for Allegany.
Yeah, Rylan Kennifer, and she is not left-footed. So so Rylan being a defender, getting an opportunities today, both in the first, second half, moving up on a right wing, and she got an opportunity to shoot there. And again, she didn't play it back to her right with her strong foot. She did take that shot left-footed, and that's what you want. She's a sophomore. You want her to get touches because you want her to get a stronger left foot out there, and with her being a sophomore, these are great opportunities for her. So.
Right, and that actually was a good shot with decent power. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a weak shot by any means because she used her left foot. She was able to step into the ball and put a solid shot on goal.
That was a play out to Hannah Willits by Skylar Ellsworth. Again, a nice feed by her, so she feeds Hannah. Hannah's now trying to take possession back off Fort Hill, plays it out wide to make it a throw. And again, that's a great play. Fortunately for Allegany, on a ball deep like this is to their advantage. They have a thrower. Another person in the area that does a great job, Gabby Wolf, who's played travel for us before. She does a great job throwing in, and she's not near the size as what Kelsey is, but she's their thrower for Mountain Ridge.
Right.
Does a great job of putting the ball into the mouth. So here we have a throw in. Kelsey O'Neill to the middle third. A ball through and all the way to the backside. So just a missed opportunity there by Allegany. Unfortunate for them, but fortunately for Fort Hill, that Haley Turnett is able to slide her feet over, get that ball so nobody else can get that shot.
Right. Again, if Turnett's not playing as aggressively as she is in this game, this could be, as much as 8 or 9-0.
Yeah, I really believe it's at least 6, 7, like you said. It could be 8 or 9 for sure, because there's at least 5 or 6 opportunities that Allegany didn't have the possession from the 20-yard line in that they would have had sole possession of a one-on-one. So it's not like they just would have gained possession, but they were behind the defenders. So
exactly.
It's like Fort Hill had the opportunity here, got possession of the ball, moving it down. So they got the ball deep, and Kelsey O'Neill playing it out, so that resets the Allegany defense. So that gets them the opportunity in. And as you see 7 Allegany girls dropping into defense position to the 3 offensive Fort Hill players with a couple coming in.
And the
late.
Disappointing thing about that from the Fort Hill side is that they didn't have enough players move up. They didn't even have a player in position to get a pass forward on that one. Everybody was dropped back, and again, that's just from some of its lack of experience, and some of it is just they're gassed.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it was 7 on 3 there. So I mean, Allegany definitely should be able to mark up and gain quick possession there. Fort Hill had an opportunity. They had a slide out, and it's difficult. It looks like number 21, Allie Miller, might have been the one that made the run. Katie Stern sliding out and making a slide. We'll call it a save, but it wasn't a save because it's not a shot on goal. So, but she takes that opportunity away, just like Haley had done earlier. Allie doesn't have an opportunity to shoot by her coming out sliding and taking the ball away from her before she gets that opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah. The sun. It's kind of frustrating a little bit here. You get a little peek of the sun, and then it goes away behind the clouds. But like you said earlier, it has been a beautiful day for soccer.
It has, and luckily we're inside, so we don't have to deal with the wind, because I see the balloons moving back and forth, and I'm sure those people over there are probably not totally agreeing with us about it being a beautiful day, but it's not windy in here, so it's very comfortable. But for the girls to play, it is a great day to play soccer. The temperature, and they're not fighting the sun,
right?
So it's ideal.
And another thing, when you're playing in the sun and you've got the hotter temperatures, you see people cramping up a lot. These girls are very fit physically. They do a lot of training in the off season. They also do a lot of training during the week. And a lot of times I just don't think that they get as much credit as they deserve, because they work just as hard as the boys teams at soccer, football. They put in the time just like everybody else.
Yeah, and it's a 5-day, 6-day-a-week practice schedule, and the thing is that, and they have to go through a certain routine every day to stay conditioned for this reason here, because I did the game here for Fort Hill 2 weeks ago. The temperature was 94 degrees. The field, I think they said, was probably up over 110 degrees because of the turf.
Yep.
And they had one sub who then was injured to Fort Hill, so we had girls going down. We gave water breaks. We tried to do everything we could to help that out, but I think we had 5 down for cramps late in the game. So temperature is huge, and like today, great day for them to play. So
right, and there again, the ball was played forward by Allegany, and it's an easy play for the Fort Hill defender. Just take a nice easy touch, get it over the touchline, and let's set the defense again.
Yep, absolutely. So. See a quick throw. So Kelsey O'Neill looks like she's coming up to take the throw. Rowland throws it into her. So Kelsey O'Neill, what a shot. And in the net by Kelsey O'Neill. Wow, outside, well outside the 18. And actually a great view for us to see the shot, because we could see it off of her foot. We could tell it was going into the upper third of the net. Haley's not able to go over and get it. What a beautiful shot there by Kelsey O'Neill. The assist really coming for Rylan Kennifer on her throw-in. So instead of Kelsey taking the throw, they did a quick throw. It looked like maybe Fort Hill got caught off guard a little bit, because thinking Kelsey was coming all the way in to get the throw. Quick in, down to her feet, and what a shot on goal from Kelsey O'Neill.
I mean that shot right there, that's the shot that you see in pro ball. That is the most difficult shot to stop, because it's placed in the top corner, and it's hard for a keeper to go up to the corner like that.
Yeah, it was perfect placement, I guess is what we would call that ball, because that ball is near impossible to ever get saved unless you would have anticipated, somebody would have told her in her ear 10 seconds before that that's where the shot would have been, to stand there to get it, because very difficult, nothing that you can do about that. But Allegany now going up 5-0, taking complete control of the game. They've possessed it well, but again, Fort Hill will continue to keep fighting. Their issue again is they're just gassed.
Right.
In trying to gain possession here, they do gain possession here, sliding out to the 50. But then Allegany, like I said, with them substituting, like we talked about before, the rotation that they have, they're fresh legs. Everybody, pretty much except the back line for Allegany, has been out of the game to get water, to get their breath, to get their feet and ready to go with, give it 150% back out there. And it's tough. Fort Hill is giving it 150%, but when you're gassed, you just can't continue to run at full speed all the time.
Right. And you noticed even after that goal, Fort Hill was somewhat aggressive there, trying to gain possession. And again, for as much as they've run today and not had the substitutes, they've done a pretty good job here in the second half. I know they've given up some goals, but you got to take everything into consideration. They've played with everything they have today. And again, we were talking about substitutions. Another Allegany substitute just went in as a Fort Hill substitute went in.
Yep. Yeah, and what and you just, like you say, you see it because Allegany's then first to the ball, and that's what you want to be, first to every ball here. And Fort Hill gets ahead on it. It goes backwards, back to the defense. Fort Hill trying to play it up. But now Allegany taking quick possession, sliding it out to Hannah Willits, looking, and she'll slide it out wide to senior Violet Bowman. She plays it back to Hannah Willits, slides it up to Jordan Cheney, slides it out wide to Kaylin Lutton.
Yeah, see, they're making Fort Hill run. They know they came in, they knew their game plan, and they've executed it very well. Those passes, those quick short passes, they're hard to get to, especially when you're gassed.
And Violet Bowman, a JV player, senior that's up today, gets an opportunity off of a deflection, and she gets a kick. It looks like it may have went off the Fort Hill defender, deflected it to the left. And Violet getting a goal. What a great opportunity there. Everybody high-fiving her, giving her hugs, congratulating her. What a great opportunity that is for Violet in her senior season. That'll be a memory that she'll always remember, is getting to score on homecoming for sure.
Absolutely. So. And you noticed, we talked about this earlier, you brought it up about the keeper sliding across the mouth of the goal, and then the ball goes immediately back the other way. She had no chance to get that.
No, and really, I think if Sadie is playing today, she probably would come in to give Haley a break and let Haley come out and play the field a little bit. And so it's unfortunate. Like I said, there's key people from Fort Hill sitting on the bench, and it just makes it tougher for the defense to have to adjust to players missing. I did look here on the stats. I noticed that I think that's Kelsey O'Neill's, I believe, that may have been her second goal of the season from the field. She now has 5, I believe it's 5 goals. She had 3 coming in today. She had the PK. I believe she had 2 PKs and I believe there was a field goal at Frankfurt that she'd scored from the field.
Yeah.
So that shot there, I mean, that's going to mean special to her. Not that any PK wouldn't be, but get that opportunity, especially when you're a defensive player. So
yeah. I mean, you got to think about that. In order for that defensive player to get an opportunity, they've probably run 70 yards.
Yes.
Just to be in position to get that opportunity.
So Fort Hill takes possession from the 30, dribbling down. Looks like Allie Miller dribbling it out wide to number 8. Looks like Paige Self. And then quickly Allegany takes possession. Hannah Willits over to Skylar Willits, up to Violet from Allegany, looking to play it out. Fort Hill plays it out wide. So, again, just the stat for Kelsey O'Neill, I noticed that here Jordan Cheney had 12 goals coming in. I believe she has 1 today. We don't have the stats in front of us, but if she has 1 or 2. But she's leading the team in goals, and she had almost double. So Kelsey is closing in on that halfway point to Jordan's goals. Again, a lot of Jordan's goals have come in the second half of the season as she struggled early on to put the ball in net. She was frustrated. We talked to her just to relax that they'll come, and then they have. So she's up to 12 plus the goals here today.
Yeah,
so.
And that is 2 goals today for Kelsey O'Neill, although I am missing 1. I missed 1. Early in the second half, so I do know that there's a 5th goal that I don't have recorded here.
Okay.
I was looking at what's coming up for these 2 teams after today. It looks like Allegany, barring any changes in their schedule, they only have 1 game remaining away against Clear Spring on the 14th. And Fort Hill, I believe, has 2 games remaining, and I don't have their information in front of me. But, these teams are coming down to the end of their seasons. They're getting ready for the playoffs. Allegany looks like they're going to be in pretty good shape for the playoffs, especially if they can keep a rotation like they had today going.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do. They need to keep that, keep the fresh legs in, because what you see a lot of opportunities, just like here. Jordan Cheney getting an opportunity, Haley Turnett kicking it out wide of her. Saving another opportunity from Jordan trying to take that shot. So it's, again, Allegany having that 1 game. I'm not sure what Clear Spring has. Typically, Washington County soccer is tough, so that's a great test to them to see, because they very well could, if there's a possibility they could play each other in the playoffs if they would advance past Mountain Ridge, and what a tall test that'll be. That it's going to be a big game for those 2 teams. It always has been. We always knew it. So And with the final score and the final seconds rolling off with Allegany, with the final score of Allegany 6 and Fort Hill 0. What a great game today. Again, Monzel, what a great job by both teams for Fort Hill just to continue to play, Allegany to come in and do their job, keep possession of the ball, and that's what they want to do. They want to possess.
Right.
And they possess from the defense to the mids to the forwards and not kick it. And what a great game that was for them today. So the hats off to the Allegany girls, the coaching staff, and the entire team, and the fans for coming out today. It looks like we have a fuller bleachers here than the start. What a great opportunity for sure for them. So
yeah, and I'm sure a lot of these fans will be sticking around, just like the men came out, the boys came out to support the young ladies today. I suspect that most of these players will be sticking around for this game as well.
yes.
I just want to say that as we're looking down here at the field, the Fort Hill players with their hands on their hips, and you can see the fatigue, and as they're shaking hands, you don't see that from the Allegany players. They were fresh. They're still fresh. Yes, they're tired, but that we spoke about it many times. But seeing it here at the end of the game, you can just see that the Fort Hill players are exhausted.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd like to make a quick shout out to all of our travel soccer teams that have players playing.
Yes.
What a great opportunity it is for girls and boys both to play. But what you see is it really advances the players in their skill level to get that opportunity to play. I have the fortunate opportunity this year to coach the Avid Phoenix team. What a great opportunity to have the area girls, to have the two girls from Bedford, Amber Thomas and Jenna Brown. We got them late, and what a great opportunity it was to have two key state champion players and the number of goals that they had. I believe Amber, in her career, she had 140 couple goals, so what an opportunity it was, and great to have that chance. And for the Allegany girls, Sadie, there was some other girls on different teams from Mountain Ridge, a couple there from Northern, and we're looking to have tryouts coming up again here the next 2 Sundays to build that team back up again, and look forward to seeing who's going to come out. It's going to be a great opportunity again. So.
Absolutely. Well, Adam, it's about time for us to take a break here. We're going to have about 18 minutes before the boys' game starts, and it was nice working with you.
Yeah, absolutely, Monzel. Great job, Allegany Media. I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity to step in here and announce, and what a great game you're going to see here. So if we thought we saw pace by the Allegany, wait till you see the boys' game, because this ball is going to fly around the field here shortly between the two teams. So.